Easy Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai. Jai Vishwavadara Brahmhamsa Parivajikacharya ISKCON His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. All glories to Us. All glories to Us. All glories to Us. All glories to Shri Guru and Guru. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Welcome to ISKCON Detroit morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class, where we read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and then allow time. We have a little discussion. So we are in Canto 1, and we're in Chapter 16 today. But before we get started, we'll just say a quick prayer. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayan Namaskrityam.
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudire.
Tato Jayamudire.
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu.
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
So we are reading in Canto 1, Chapter 16, it's text 17 and 18. Because 17 does not have a purport, we'll just read through it and then go to 18. Should we still do the repeat for the 17?
You can read it by yourself, and 18 we can repeat.
Okay. Tasyevam vartamanasya purvesham ritim anvaha nati dure kilash charyam yad asitan nibodame. Tasya of Maharaj Parikshit, evam, thus, vartamanasya, remaining absorbed in such thought, purvesham, of his forefathers, vitam, good engagement, anvaham, day after day, not, atidure, far off, kila, verily, ashacharyam, astonishing, yet that, asit was, that which, niboda, know it, may, from me. Translation. Now you may hear from me of what happened while Maharaj Parikshit was passing his days hearing of the good occupations of his forefathers and being absorbed in thought of them. Text 18. Please repeat. Dharmapadai kena charan
Dharmapadai charan
vichayam upalabhyajagam prachiti smashuru vandanam
Pruchati smashruvadanam
vivatsam iva matraram
Vivatsam iva mataram
dharmapadikane charan
Dharmapadai charan
vichayam upalabhyagam prachati smashruvadanam vivatsam iva mataram dharmapadikane charan
Dharmapadaikena charan
vichayam upalabhyagam prachati smashruvadanam vivatsam iva mataram. Anyone like to repeat?
Dharmapadaikena charan
Dharmapadikane charan
Vichayam
upalagayagam
Pruchati smashruvadanam Vivatsam
iva mataram. Word for word. Dharma, the personality of religious principles.
The personality of religious principles.
Pada, leg. Ekena, on one only. Chara, wandering. Vichayam, overtaken by the shadow of grief. Upalabhya, having met. Gam, the cow. Prachati sma, asked. Ashruvadanam, with tears on the face. Vivatsam, one who has lost her offspring. Iva, like. Matraram, the mother. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda Ki Jai. Translation. The personality of religious principles, Dharma, was wandering about in the form of a bull, and he met the personality of earth in the form of a cow, who appeared to grieve like a mother who has lost her child. She had tears in her eyes, excuse me, and the beauty of her body was lost. Thus, Dharma questioned the earth as follows. Please repeat. The personality of religious principles. Dharma was wandering about. In the form of a bull.
And he met the personality of earth
And he met the personality of earth
in the form of a cow
in the form of a cow
who appeared to grieve
who appeared to grieve
like a mother
like a mother
who lost her child.
who had lost her child.
She had tears in her eyes,
She had tears in her eyes,
and the beauty of her body was lost.
and the beauty of her body was lost.
Thus Dharma
Thus Dharma
questioned the earth as follows.
questioned the earth as follows.
Purport. The bull is the emblem of the moral principle, and the cow is the representative of the earth. When the bull and the cow are in a joyful mood, it is to be understood that people of the world are also in a joyful mood. The reason is that the bull helps production of grains in the agricultural field, and the cow delivers milk, the miracle of aggregate food values. The human society, therefore, maintains these two important animals very carefully so they can wander everywhere in cheerfulness. But at the present moment, in this age of Kali, both the bull and the cow are now being slaughtered and eaten up as foodstuff by a class of men who do not know the brahminical culture. The bull and the cow can be protected for the good of all human society. Jai Shri The bull and the cow can be protected for the good of all human society simply by the spreading of brahminical culture as the topmost perfection of all cultural affairs. By advancements of such culture, the moral of society is properly maintained, and so peace and prosperity are also attained without extraneous effort. When brahminical culture deteriorates, the cow and the bull are mistreated, and the resultant actions are prominent by the following symptoms. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Varijana Saitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tatta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva ca Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paśyataresha Dharine Jai Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, I'm going to read the two translations together. Again for 17 and 18. So translation goes, now you may hear from me what happened while Maharaj Parikshit was passing his days hearing of the good occupations of his forefathers and being absorbed in the thought of them. The personality of religious principles, Dharma, was wandering about in the form of a bull, and he met the personality of earth in the form of a cow, who appeared to grieve like a mother who has lost her child. She had tears in her eyes, and the beauty of her body was lost. Thus Dharma questioned the earth as follows. Okay. So, in this particular chapter that we've been reading, which is how Parikshit received the age of Kali. So we know that Kali basically represents the opposite of brahminical culture, right? It's starting to slowly deteriorate, as we read. So today, Maharaj Parikshit is, he heard about his forefathers and so forth, and they were all devotees of Kṛṣṇa. They were great personalities, right? And stuff. And so now slowly, he's going to come across the scene where, he sees a bull and a cow, right? And the cow is going to be very sad, and the bull is going to be standing on one leg. And this the cow is described here as a mother who lost her child. The thought of that, is just terrifying itself, and someone who has experienced it, I'm sure there's no words to describe it. So we can try to understand how this particular cow is feeling at this time. Because cows have feelings. Period. So the bull is Dharma, right, representation, and the cow is representation of Mother Earth. How well are we keeping our cows? Is a sign of how well we're keeping our Mother Earth. But as this whole thing is happening, the king, Maharaj Parikshit, is so in tune that he understands that something is wrong is happening, right? So this is kind of like the scene. Now, Maharaj Parikshit is a king, a ruler, a teacher. So this particular verse, or as we're coming into this verse, it teaches us that the first duty of a ruler is, or a duty even of a devotee, we can just talk about, or like a human, right, is to recognize that Dharma is under attack. Only in this particular human form of body, we have the intelligence to distinguish what is going on, around us, to have a deeper understanding, to use our intellect, to figure out what's going on. In no other animal species, do they have that specific, they defend on instinct, right? They eat because that's their constant thing that they need to do, and so forth. So, they mate because that's their desires, whatever. Like, they go through these cycles of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But in this particular lifetime, in this particular form, we have this ability to recognize that Dharma is under attack. And so what do we do? So in Bhagavad Gita 4.78, Kṛṣṇa says, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious principles and a rise in irreligion, at that time I myself manifest, to deliver the devotees, annihilate the miscreants, and reestablish the principles of religion. So this is the whole purpose of why the Lord appears on this particular earth. Now, at this point, the Lord has left. And because the Lord has left, your religion will rise again, right? So the purpose of the Lord's appearance is to restore Dharma, and therefore Dharma is not also a man-made system. This is something that's not, we practice Sanatan Dharma, right? This is the eternal occupation of an individual. What is our eternal duty? So Dharma is also not based on any kind of public opinion, like we should be doing this, no, none of that. Or any social trends or anything like that that we see on TikTok or whatever. So Dharma is eternal, right? Sanatan Dharma. It is an eternal process because it originates from the Supreme Lord himself. Okay? So Śrīla Prabhupāda, he often quotes famous Bhagavatam verse. It is Dharma tu Sakshat Bhagavat Panitam. Dharma is directly established by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is actually a very important point, because today everyone speaks about, this is my truth, or here's your truth, or, we have to create values. We don't need to create anything, right? It is already given to us We just have to learn to follow. Learning to follow. So, but according to Vedic knowledge, you know, we do not actually have to manufacture any religion or anything. You know, we accept the laws of God as a citizen accepts the laws of the state, right? You know, if you speed down the highway, you're going to get a ticket if you get caught, right? Like, and so forth. So we have to follow the laws of the state. We do, you know, and so forth. So why are we not following the laws of God? You know, we have to. We're actually forced to. Otherwise, we are paying the consequences, which you can see. If we cannot vote, you know, an example was given, you know, we cannot vote to change gravity and stuff, nor can we vote to change the laws of karma, right? They're going to affect you, whether you like it or not. You know, that's God's laws. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was not protecting a political system. This was not something like that was made up, right? He was protecting what was God's orders, right? So the bull in this verse is standing, as we go through this chapter, he's standing on one leg, right? Which we'll probably see. And because the bull represents Dharma, and Dharma, the 4 legs of the bull, are the 4 pillars of Dharma, right? And gradually, as Kali progresses, these 4 legs of Dharma are destroyed. So what are these 4 legs? There are truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, and austerity. These are the 4 things: truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, and austerity. These are the 4 things that Dharma rests on, right? These are what is like the foundation, right? Anytime you have a foundation of a house, if the foundation breaks, is the house going to stay up? It's going to crumble. So exactly what is happening. Again, truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, and austerity. These 4 things. So in Satya Yuga, all 4 of these things, you know, stood very tall and were firmly, you know, in all good standing, quote unquote. As age progresses, each becomes weakened. So by the time Kali Yuga comes around, which is what we're in right now, only truthfulness is kind of there, but that also is being extremely attacked. Cleanliness is gone, mercy is gone, austerity is gone right now, when we can see it. Because when we examine like the world around us, I mean, you have so many examples in front of you. So mercy is lost through unrestricted violence, especially animal slaughter. And our tongues desire so many different things, and animal slaughter is on the top rung, probably. In between sex and like, you know, animal slaughter, like it's bad. So whenever we cannot appreciate the creatures, God's, you know, creatures, and if we feel the need to overpower them, to kill them, to slaughter them, that just destroys mercy, right? Compassion, all of those things we are seeing less and less in this world. Cleanliness is lost not only externally, but internally through various sinful habits and impure consciousness, right? So externally, you know, not only are we destroying, you know, our environments, but we see that people just what are they doing to themselves, right? Like, you know, my son in college, you know, he used to tell me stories and stuff like that. People, like, sometimes don't even take a bath in the day, right? And here, like, in Vedic culture, we take bath 3 times a day, right? And stuff. So, like, you know, not to even, some people, like, don't even take for a week, right? It's, I can't imagine that. I apologize. I'm not trying to judge, but, like, please, be clean outside. Internally, through all these sinful habits, we're destroying ourselves from the inside out, right? What we eat, you know, various things that we're taking and putting inside of our bodies, it just completely destroys our mindset. You know, we have so much issues with mental health these days, right? And stuff. It all stems from not being clean. Austerity is abandoned because society teaches us unrestricted enjoyment. Everything has to be instant, right? We live in an instant world. If I don't get pleasure from this, next, right? There's no way, you know, to be able to take upon austerity requires like patience. You may not get the results that you want right away, right? And stuff, or taking some effort in order to do something. These things are important, right? And when we lose these things, right, we just are constantly hankering for more and more and more, right? Like, I want more enjoyment, more enjoyment. Where can I find it? Where can I find it? People are working like dogs and cats, right? Like just night and day, trying to find that enjoyment and stuff. But if we take a little bit of austerity, slow it down, you can see that you don't require so much constant effort, you know, in this mode. And finally, truthfulness becomes compromised because there's so much dishonesty. There's so much propaganda. Just open up your phone, right? And stuff. So much cheating mentality, right? And stuff. My poor father-in-law got cheated so many times from like, you know, like these online sales or in apps and things like that. So please be careful. But Śrīla Prabhupāda would often explain that Kali Yuga works by attacking these 4 pillars, right? When these things are being attacked, this is why the 4 regulative principles that we follow are so significant, right? No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. When you first hear these things, you're like, what? I don't want to follow this. What do you mean? You know, and stuff like that. But if we learn to just follow these 4 things, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling, then these 4 legs of pillar, the 4 pillars of Dharma, they can be very firmly established, right? Just try it. 30 days. Just try it, you know? See how your life will change. So, and that's our spiritual practice. These are not arbitrary rules that someone has made up, right? These are things that are proven scientifically within the Shastras. You can see for yourself, you can experiment it for yourself. They're not like, and they're very practical, right? That is one particular lesson, you know, protecting this Dharma. Now, another important lesson is Maharaj Parikshit's response, too. So, we've seen in this particular chapter, he doesn't remain neutral, right? When he sees something going wrong, he doesn't just be like, oh, okay, or just, you know, I'm not getting involved or whatever. Sometimes people think spirituality means becoming very passive or avoiding difficult issues, right? But that's not devotional service, as we all know, right? The process is easy, right? The process is simple, but it's not easy, right? Spiritual life is not easy. That's why austerity, like all these things, cleanliness, truthfulness, mercy, all of this is required. When Arjuna wanted to avoid fighting in the battlefield, right? We see in Bhagavad Gita, I can't fight anymore, drop your bow, right? Kṛṣṇa corrected him. So like in Bhagavad Gita 2:31, Kṛṣṇa instructs Arjuna to perform his prescribed duties. You can't give up your duties, you know, by protecting this righteousness. You have to do your duty. Now, real compassion sometimes means protecting the innocent and confronting irreligion. But, you know, this is what a devotee does, you know. They are trying to protect the innocent, like through means of prasadam distribution or book distribution or kirtan or whatever it may be. You know, let them hear the holy names, let them try to establish a better life, right? And confronting this irreligion, you know, Maya is so strong. You know, what's not, we see everywhere, billboards, you know, marijuana things, and like so much stuff is around us, you know, constantly being bombarded by things that are irreligion. So, you know, what Maharaj Parikshit does, it immediately challenges this gully, this mentality, because he understands that adharma is tolerated by innocent people, and then they suffer, right? So protecting Dharma begins within our own hearts, right? Kali enters whenever we're neglecting chanting, for example. We neglect our chanting, chanting the holy names of the Lord, taking time out to pray to the Lord, to think about the Lord, to recite his names and so forth. If we ignore that, Kali comes in, right? If we neglect hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, or reading the scriptures, or hearing the scriptures, or listening to a lecture, or something, right? And stuff, Kali will come in, right? And break another leg, right? Or start, destroying. Association devotees, compromising spiritual standards, all of these things. If we do that, if we think, oh, we can, I'm spiritual in my own, right? Like it's difficult because Kali comes in, right? These desires are nonstop affecting our mentality and stuff. So we need help, right? So we support each other. We chant together. We, read Bhagavatam, hear classes together. This is what protects, it builds a fence so Kali can't come in, right? In Bhagavad Gita 6, in chapter 2, Kṛṣṇa describes this gradual destruction of spiritual life. He actually says that, this contemplation, slowly building of desire, leads to attachment, right? And this attachment will lead to lust. I must have this, right? Lust leads to anger. I can't have it. What do you mean? Right? And anger leads to illusion. I will try I will do whatever it takes to get it done. And that eventually destroys the memory because you cannot think of anything but that particular desire. And the memory destroyed ruins your intelligence. Has anyone made good decisions when they're either angry or lustful or in illusion? No, you cannot make good decisions, right? And then eventually one falls down. So it's very systematic, It's not like something that, is rocket science, right? It's Vedic science and stuff. So, therefore Śrīla Prabhupāda repeatedly emphasized hearing and chanting, hearing and chanting. This practice protects our intelligence. Protect your mind, protect your intelligence. Fill it with chanting and hearing, right? So that's another aspect of this particular verse that's happening, or in this particular chapter. Now let's consider Mother Cow. Okay, it is significant that Mother Earth appears specifically as a cow. The cow is not an ordinary animal, actually. We think, oh, four-legged cow, whatever, hangs out in the barn all day long and eats grass. No, this is simply not another animal. The scriptures consistently give her a unique position. And why? Because the cow gives milk selflessly. All right? Who gives milk selflessly? A mother. A mother nourishes her child through milk, right? The day you were born, if your mother did not give you milk or some nourishment, would you be here today? No, right? So similarly, the cow nourishes human society through her life, right? From milk comes yogurt, butter, ghee, cheese, various sweets, many, many preparations that are offered to Kṛṣṇa. Ghee is actually essential for doing a yajna, right? And milk nourishes the brain. All these fine tissues that cultivate intelligence comes from what's made up in milk. And that intelligence is used for spiritual understanding. So Śrīla Prabhupāda would often say that a civilization which kills the mother, right, cannot expect peace, right? Like, does anyone in the right mind want to kill their mother? No, right? You cannot expect peace. So we actually recognize several mothers, right? There's 7 mothers. We learned this in Sunday school, but everyone should know there are 7 mothers. We have our own birth mother, right, that has given birth to us. We have a spiritual master's wife, who can also be our mother. We have a wife of a brahmana, who is also our mother. The queen, right? Or the one who is ruling over the land is also considered our mother. The nurse is also considered our mother. Mother Earth is our mother, and so is the cow. Right? The cow is therefore addressed as mother because she nourishes without discrimination. Right? She doesn't say, I'm only going to give milk to this, particular individual and then not to you. No, cow gives undiscriminately. And this is not a sentiment also, it is recognition of her particular service. And the bull also similarly represents our father, right? Because he assists in agriculture, plowing, producing of food, through the labor. It's such a strong, fathers are strong, right? So, thus, and when we look at traditional Vedic civilization, it rests upon cow protection and agriculture centered on Kṛṣṇa. So today, though, we have, everything is industrial. We have industrial civilization. So often the cow is, an economic commodity, right? Its value is, when it produces milk, it has certain value. When it's done, its meat is considered valuable. Like, when she's no longer profitable, she's sent to the slaughterhouses. There's no respect, right? No mercy. This mentality is reflected in Kali because it reduces the living beings to object of exploitation, right? How much happened during slavery, right? So much exploitation, right? Similarly, this is happening with cows. And Kṛṣṇa himself was a cowherd boy, right? He's Gopala, the protector of cows. He's Govinda, one who gives pleasure to the cows and the senses in the land. So the Lord personally chose this relationship. Why not, squirrels or something? This cow is very specifically introduced in our Vedic system. So the Lord personally chooses this relationship. And then naturally, devotees understand that cow protection is sacred, devotional service, right? So protecting the cows also teaches us gratitude. And gratitude is necessary within our lives, right? If we don't have gratitude, how can we have some compassion towards other living entities? So modern culture often teaches us consumptions without appreciation. Mine, right? How can I get more and stuff? Like, how many times do we take a moment to appreciate, maybe what's on our plate, or the air that we're breathing, or, the fact that, we have maybe a roof on our head, or even if we don't have a roof on our head, that we have this particular life, right? And stuff. So devotees learn to receive everything as Kṛṣṇa's mercy, whatever we're getting from Kṛṣṇa. When we drink milk offered to Mother Cow first, and offer it to Kṛṣṇa first, we recognize that this is a divine arrangement rather than simply exploiting nature. So finally, this verse reminds us that every devotee has some responsibility, right, to protecting Dharma. It is our responsibility, and I would say even past devotees, it's a human responsibility to protect Dharma. If you are a human being, it is your responsibility, right? It's not for the kings, right, or for whoever sitting in any office and stuff. They alone can't do it, right? They can guide and so forth, but it takes each one of us, to protect Dharma, living according to principles of devotional service, chanting the holy name sincerely, right? Studying the Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, showing compassion towards living entities, supporting cow protection whenever possible in your area, teaching others by our own example. All of these things, when we do that, we preserve Dharma in our own lives, and we become an instrument for restoring Dharma in society, right? So these are very important. And, by remaining fixed in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna attentively, following regulatory principles and establishing genuine spiritual culture, we can participate in Krishna's mission of restoring Dharma, right? Of course, we want him to come. He is always here. He is always here. But it is our responsibility to protect us. So protecting Dharma and protecting the cow and, taking that responsibility, this is all the things that we can do, and live a life of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, and austerity. So, thank you very much. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. If anyone has any questions, thoughts, comments, we can have some thoughts. So.
Thank you, Mother. Thanks for the wonderful class. It was all about preserving pillars of Dharma and values in the society. It is very important if we want to see the change in society, we have to take the change in ourselves and we have to try to change. Then we have to see the change in others. But people try to change everything they want to change all around, but not changing themselves.
Yes. It's a very nice point, Prabhu. Yes. If you want to change others, you have to change yourself first.
Try to say,
to follow what you preach. You have to, all of these things that we hear, they're not, just some whimsical sayings or anything like that, but, be the change you want to be. You hear that, right? So, if you show yourself, following the rules of Dharma, then others will follow that lead as well. And that's the responsibility we take. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Any other thoughts, questions, comments? If not, then we'll meet again tomorrow. Please stay tuned and make this part of your dharmic duty. Jai Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Hare